Hello, students. Welcome back. Welcome back to the integers zone. Right? As you all know that we were doing the chapter 6 which name is integers. That's why welcome back to integers zone, right? So as you all know that we were learning new things about the integers. We have learned some new rules about the integers and three videos on this topic have been shared with you, and this is the fourth video. And in the previous video we have learned about the ordering of integers, that how do we order the integers means how do we order the positive integers, how do we order the negative integers. That positive integers, as we all know, that order like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and moving on, they goes in a increasing order. Negative integers are also written as an increasing order, but the little bit change that is in the negative integers is that we write the negative integers in a reverse order because in the case of negative integers the number which is as much big is considered to be as much smaller. So where we write the positive integers is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. On the other side we write the negative integers as -10, -9, -8, -7, -6, -7, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, and then comes 0. So both are in increasing order. The positive integers are also in increasing order, and the negative integers are also in increasing order. So about the ordering of integers, the most important point which you have to keep in mind is that while ordering the negative integers, we have to keep this in mind that the value of the number is as much bigger, but because there is a negative sign in front of the number, so its value is as much smaller. Though the number is -10, but its value is less than minus of 9. So we move in the negative integers in a reverse order of the positive integers. In positive integer, bigger number is as much bigger, but in negative integer, the bigger number is as much smaller. And we have discussed these points in every video of the chapter. So I think this would have been clear to you. So now we will learn about the next topic, and the topic is addition of integers. Addition of integers. So, how do we add the integers? We know very well how to add the normal numbers, how to add the numbers which are positive. Means we can very easily add all the positive integers. But what about the case of negative integers? So, first we learn that how do we add the positive integers? So, if we have 1 plus 1, 1 is a positive integer and positive integer. So, this is equals to 2. Positive integer 11 plus positive integer 2 is equals to 13. Positive integer 100 plus positive integer 5 is equals to 105. Means we can easily add the positive integers. So the thing which we need to learn about the addition of integers, that if the symbol of the number being added is changed, means if you are adding two numbers, if you are adding two integers and one integer is a different sign and the other integer is of a different sign, then how do we add them? Because in case of both positive integers we can easily add the integers as we add the positive numbers. So in case of addition of integers or negative integers, we will learn the addition of integers with number line and without number line. Means we will learn both the cases. So if we have to add two integers on number line, like if we have to add 3 plus 2, these both are integers and we have to add them. So we know very well, we have also learned this in the previous chapter, that we will start our solution from 3 and whatever number we have to add we will jump as many times. So we will start from 3, we will take one jump 3 to 4, then we will take second jump 4 to 5, and then so after taking two jumps 3 to 4 and 4 to 5, we have reached at 5. So 5 is the answer. So we know very well how to add the positive integers on the number line. Now let's learn the case of negative integers. Suppose we have an integer minus of 3 and we have an integer minus of 2. So how do we add them? Minus of 3 and minus of 2. Now there is a lots of confusion. We have to add them, we have to subtract them. How do we do this? So this kind of confusion will arise every time when we are having the different sign of integers. So to avoid this confusion, first we learn to understand the rules regarding these operations, means rules regarding the plus and minus symbol, so that if you're having one digit with plus sign and the other digit with the negative sign, or one digit with negative sign and other is also with the negative sign, then how do we deal with them? So to understand that concepts, just have a look at this picture. What we are seeing in this picture, we are seeing that there are yellow circles and there are red circles, and in the yellow circle there is a symbol of positive sign, and in red circles there is a symbol of negative sign. So it means what? It means that yellow circles are representing a positive integer and the red circles are representing negative integer, right? So this is the first thing that we need to learn, that yellow circles are representing, all yellow circles are representing positive integers and all red circles are representing negative integers. Now in the 6th grade mathematics, in the chapter integers, one new rule regarding mathematics, that as I'm going to tell you, that in the previous classes whenever we used to see that there is a plus symbol, we always used to add. But from this grade mathematics, the 6th grade mathematics, you will have to change these rules. Even if there is a plus symbol, but even after that there can be subtraction. Why? Let's learn. Suppose we are having a positive integer like this is a positive integer and this is a positive integer, like you're having the two positive integers and we have a symbol of positive, symbol of addition in between them. It means we are adding the numbers, like we are having three positive integer, we are having three positive integers and there is a symbol of plus between them. It means we have to add them. So we'll simply add them and we will also get an answer which is positive, means we will get a positive answer, that is plus 6. So this is the very first case. Let's see the second case. What can be in the second case? That we have a positive integers like this and we have a negative integer like this, and there is a symbol of positive sign in between them. So what will happen in that case? In that case we are going to add them. And one more thing you have to understand about this, that there is different size of circle, like in this circle is of smaller size and this circle is of bigger size. So it means what? It means that the smaller circle is representing the smaller digit and the bigger circle is representing the bigger digit, right? Like in the second part we are having the yellow circle is the bigger one and the red circle is the smaller one, and there is an addition sign in between them. It means what? It means that we have a integer which is positive and which is bigger than this negative integers. Suppose we can take 5. We have a positive integer 5 and then there is a plus sign, and then we have to take a negative integer, but the negative integer's value should be less than this positive integer. So we can take minus of 2, right? So we have a positive integer plus, we have a plus sign between them, and then we have a negative integer and that value is smaller than 5. So we have 2. Right, now what will be the result? The result will be a positive number. Result will be a positive number, and which operation we are performing here. So students, now this is the important point that we need to learn, that 5 plus minus 2. when there is a symbol of positive sign and there is a symbol of negative sign like this, and there is no other sign in between them, then these two signs are multiplied. And when we multiply a positive and a negative sign, then they turns into a negative sign. It means 5 plus minus 2 will become 5 minus 2. So though we have to perform the addition here, but because we are performing this addition with a negative integer, so this has been converted to the case of subtraction, and 5 minus 2 is equals to 3. So we have got our answer 3, and that is a positive integer as indicated by a small yellow circle. Let's see the second case. What is the second case? In the second case, we having a positive integer, but the circle is smaller than this circle. It means what? It means that this number which is a positive integer and this number which is a negative integer, the positive integer is smaller value and the negative integer is a bigger value. Means if we are taking positive integer as 2, then after the plus sign, whatever negative integer you are taking, its value will be bigger than the 2. So there will be a negative sign and the value of the integer should be bigger than 2. It can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5. So let's take 3. So now the answer is given in a red circle but of a smaller size, means there will be a negative integer of in the answer and the value will be smaller than this one. So 2 plus minus 3, as I have told you in the earlier case also, that if there is a positive sign and if there is a negative sign, and then these two positive and the negative signs turned into a negative sign, it means 2 plus minus 3 will be 2 minus 3, and 2 minus 3 will be resulted in a negative integer, and that answer will be, when we are subtracting 3 from 2, then we are getting 1, but when we are subtracting 2 from 3, then we are getting minus of 1. The reason behind this is this, that whenever we are subtracting a positive and a negative number, then we always subtract them, but the symbol that we use, that symbol is always of the bigger number, and 3 is bigger between 2 and 3, and 3 is having a negative symbol with them. That's why the answer is also a negative symbol. So we have learned three cases in which we have given the addition symbol, and we have taken in the first case the two positive integers and we added them, and the result was also a positive integer and the bigger one. In the second case we have taken a bigger positive integer and a smaller negative integer, and the result was a positive integer. In the third case, we have taken a smaller positive integer and a bigger positive negative integer, and the result was a negative integer, because whenever we are having a positive integer and a negative integer, then the symbol that we use is always of the bigger number. Here the bigger number was a positive integer, that's why the symbol was positive. Here the bigger number was a negative integer, that's why we have taken the negative symbol. To clarify this, let's see some more examples. So let's see. In the first case where we were having two positive integers, so we have a positive integer and a positive integer. So the result is a positive integer. So answer is 5, a bigger one. When we are having a positive integer and a negative integer, and the value of the positive integer is bigger, 4 and minus 1, 4 is bigger, so the symbol that we will use in the answer will be a positive symbol, but we will do the subtraction, that is 4 minus 1, it will be 3, and plus of 3. Here we are also having a positive integer and a negative integer, but the symbol of the bigger number is negative. Here the symbol of the bigger number was positive, here the symbol of the bigger number is negative, so the answer will be negative. So 3 minus 6 will be minus of 3, by the reason that whenever we have a positive integer and a negative integer and we are adding them, then we always write the symbol of the bigger number with the answer. That's why answer is minus of 3. So I hope these three cases are clear to see. So next, let's see. Now let's see the another case. Another case is the subtraction case. In that case, what we will see the same thing but in a different way. That we have two positive integers, right? We have a positive integer and this one is bigger. The first one is bigger and we have also a positive integer but this one is smaller. Suppose we have a 5 and we have 3. The this one is bigger and this one is smaller. So 5 minus 3. So the answer will be positive integer, that is plus of 2, right? So let's see that we have a positive integer but this is of smaller value. So we can take 3 here and we have another positive integer but the circle is bigger, it means we have a bigger number and there is a minus sign between them. So we can take 3 and minus sign and the bigger positive integer than 3 we can take 7. 3 minus 7. So what will be the answer? Answer will be a negative integer but will be of smaller value than this. So 3 minus 7. When we subtract 3 from 7, we get 4. But here we will get minus of 4 by the reason that the symbol of 7 is bigger between 3 and 7. That's why answer is minus of 4. Let's see the third case. In the third case, there is a plus positive integer. So positive integer can be anything like 3, 4, 5, and of the same size circle we are having in a negative integer. Means there is a positive integer and there is a negative integer but the value of the numbers will be same and there is a minus sign between them. So and the answer is a bigger positive integer than these two integers. So we can take like 3, then we have a minus sign and then we have to take the same integer but with a negative sign, means negative integer, that is minus of 3. So what will happen in this case? When we have a plus and a minus sign, then we subtract them, but when we have a minus and a minus sign, then we will add them because two negatives are equals to positive. So it will become 3 plus 3. So answer will be plus of 6. So this is the very important concept that you need to learn, that when you have a positive integer and you have a negative integer and we are subtracting them, right? We have first positive integer and we have a second negative integer and the sign between them is a negative sign, then these negative and this negative, they becomes positive and they are added in this way and the answer is also positive. So let's have a review of this thing, that what we have done. We have learned that when we are adding two integers, when we have a first integer of smaller value like this is of smaller value and this is of bigger value, means this is the smaller positive integer and the second is a bigger positive integer, then the answer is a positive integer and is of a bigger value than this. When we have the first positive integer and that is a bigger value and a second negative integer that is of smaller value and there is a plus sign between them, then the answer is a positive integer. In the third case, when we have the smaller positive integer and the bigger negative integer and there is a plus sign between them, then the answer is of a negative integer. Why? Because we always use that symbol in the answer when we are adding or subtracting two number, which number is of bigger value. Here the positive number was of bigger value, that's why the answer was of positive sign. Here the negative number is of bigger value, that's why the answer is of a negative sign. So whatever number is bigger in the case of two integers, so we take the symbol of the bigger integer. In the second case, we have the symbol of subtraction between them. The first number is a bigger positive integer and the second number is a smaller positive integer and we are subtracting them. So the answer is a smaller positive integer. When the first integer is a smaller positive integer and the second integer is a bigger positive integer, like 3 minus 5, then the answer is a negative positive integer. And we have the smaller positive integer and the same positive integer is there in the case of negative integer. Sorry, we have a smaller positive integer and the same smaller negative integer, and there is a negative sign between them, like 2 minus minus of 2, then they are added because two negatives are equals to positive. So 2 plus 2, then the answer is again a positive integer. So this is the thing that we have to keep in our mind while adding or subtracting the integers, whether we are having both positive integer or whether we are having negative integer. So let's do some more practice and let's have some more clarity. So two positive integers, one positive integer 3 and the other positive integer 1, and the symbol of addition between them. So as simple as that, we will get 3 plus 1 4. Then we have positive integer 2 smaller one and the positive integer 5 the bigger one. Then the answer is as simple as that, 2 plus 5 7. Then we have a positive integer the bigger one and we have the negative integer and is the smaller one. And I have told you, when there is a plus sign and a minus sign, then they are converted into a minus sign. Plus minus, when there is a plus and the other one is a minus, then they are converted into minus sign. So 3 plus minus 1 is equals to 3 minus 1, that is 2, and the answer is of plus 2 by the reason that we always use the symbol of the bigger value. We always use the symbol of the bigger value in the answer, and between 3 and minus 1, 3 is bigger than 1 and 3 is of positive sign, that's why answer is of positive sign. In the next case, we have positive integer 4 and negative integer minus 6. Between 4 and 6, naturally 6 is bigger, but here 6 is of a negative sign, that's why it is smaller. So 4 plus minus 6 plus minus is always equals to minus. So 4 plus minus 6 becomes 4 minus 6 and the answer will be minus of 2, again by the same reason that in the case of a positive and the negative integer, we always take the symbol of that number which is bigger. So 6 is bigger and 6 is of negative sign, that's why answer is minus of 2. Again, then we have minus of 5 and plus of 3. Minus of 5 plus of 3. Whenever there is a positive integer and a negative integer, then we are always performing the subtraction. As in this case also, we have a positive integer and a negative integer, we did subtraction. Here we have a positive integer and a negative integer, here we did subtraction. Same here, we have a positive integer and a negative integer, so we will subtract here. So 3 and 5, when they are subtracted, then the answer is 2. Now the point is that which symbol we will use here, the plus symbol or the minus symbol. Between 3 and 5, 5 is bigger and 5 is having a negative sign with them, and we always use the sign of the bigger number in the answer, that's why answer will be minus of 2. Here we are having minus of 1, then there is a plus sign and then minus of 4, then minus 1 and plus minus will become minus of 4. So minus of 1 and minus of 4. So what will be the answer? It's a new kind of operation for you. When you are having two negative integers, then what you have to do? I have told you that when you have a positive integer and a negative integer, then what you have to do? Then you have to subtract them. And when you have two positive integers, then you have to add them. And in this new case, when you have two negative integers, even then you have to add them. Do not get confused. This is a new rule which you have to keep in your mind, that when you have two negative integers and there is a negative sign in front of both the integers, then we have to add them. Here plus sign was there, and because minus of 4 was there, then plus and minus becomes minus. So minus of 1 and minus of 4 is equals to minus of 5, by the reason that we always use the symbol of the bigger one, and 4 and 1, 4 is bigger and it is of negative sign, that's why it is equals to minus of 5. So I hope you have understood these concepts, and if you didn't understand, if you're facing problem, then I will suggest you that please mention them in comments so that I will be able to know that you're having some problem, and I will try to rectify, I will try to remove those problems. So till then, keep practicing, keep revising. Have a good day.